Hey violin people, how we doing? I'm giving you a little bit of extra stuff today since it's 2 weeks since I'm going to put up another video. And you can do a little playing over April vacation if you have the time. So we're going to start on page 18. I'm not going to give you a ton of go back and look at this because pretty much everything I give you today it's going to cover everything we've been working on. It's going to cover pizzicato. It's going to cover putting the left hand on E, F sharp, and G. It's going to cover bowing E, F sharp, and G. So if you focus on the 3 examples that I go through today, you are going to be in just wonderful shape. So we have been working through page 18. We started with bowing G a couple videos ago. Last time we did back and forth and down and up. Today we're going to do Tribal Lament. It's on page 18, number 57, and it's the closest thing we've done to a real song and not just a warm-up example that uses both the left hand and the bow. Now, even though it's bowed and we're going to play it with the bow, we need to practice it pizzicato first just to make sure we're kind of getting the right sounds. So your very first measure starts with first line E, and it's going to do 3 of those, then go to D. So just lift it up for that D. Second measure is going to do kind of the same thing, except instead of going down to D, it's going to go up to F sharp. Okay, after that, we're putting G into place, 3 Gs, and then an F sharp. Okay, and then we end with E, 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 and a rest. If we tack that all together. Okay, and there is a repeat sign, which we'll do when we take with the bow. There's also a marker for a bow lift, and if you remember what that is, that means that we're going to end this song with a down bow, and when we repeat it, we want to lift the bow and start with a down bow as well. You might also notice that there's really only one marker as far as bowing is concerned. They tell us to start with a down bow. That's how most songs will be. They tell us to start in a certain place, and then after that, they just kind of trust us to go back and forth, and the only time they're going to let us know that we should do something different is if we have like 2 down bows in a row, 2 up bows, or just something out of the norm, okay? So this is what it's going to sound like when we bow it. We're going to start with down, up on E, 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 D. Then we do the same thing in the next measure, E, 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 F. Okay, then G, 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 F. Okay, and then E, E, E. And like I said, I end with a down bow, so I'm going to kind of lift it, bring it back, and I'm going to start again. Lift and start again. That's Tribal Lament. Give it your best. The other ones we're going to do are back on page 8. And we've kind of covered everything we needed to cover on page 8. You're going to take Morning Dance and Rolling Along, which we've done in class. We've worked on these videos. Hopefully you have a pretty good grip on them. If you don't, if you are catching this video and maybe you've missed some others or you just haven't played in a while, you probably want to spend a little bit of time catching up on Morning Dance and Rolling Along, just playing it pizzicato, before you try and play it with the bow, which is what we're going to be doing with it now. So with Morning Dance, I would have us start off pizzicato. Again, just make sure it's in good shape. G, G, F sharp, D, G, G, F sharp, D, E, E, F sharp, G, G, G. And then we would switch to the bow, and it's just the same. If you can play Tribal Lament, there is no reason that you can't work towards this, okay? So we start with that G, G, F sharp, D. Okay, and then you just repeat it. Now, this isn't designed to be an arco example, so there are no bowings. We're going to take what we've learned as far as just starting with a down bow and alternating the rest, down, up, down, up. Now, if we were playing this on repeat with the bow, we would have to put a bow lift in there, but that's not what we're going to do. Actually, with this and with rolling along, we're going to practice pizzicato with the bow in our hand. Now, the way we do that is we're basically just going to hold on to the bow, kind of like we learned not to, like we're holding a sword almost, and we kind of wrap the middle ring and pinky around it. Thumb holds it in place. Pointer is going to be available for pizzicato, okay? So if we played morning dance pizzicato, it would go like this. You can see I have the bow kind of pointing straight up, so it's not in my way, but I have it in my hand. That way, I can switch to bowing without having to like pick it up off the ground or something. Now, here's the tricky part, and this is something that you can work on at home. This is what I like to call a TV exercise, because you can do this without total focus on violin. When you're playing violin, you should be, you know, somewhere quiet. You should be somewhere where you can focus on your music and your playing. With learning how to switch from holding the bow like this so you can pizzicato to putting it in that bow position with one hand. When we learned to hold the bow, we would hold it up with the left hand and try and put our hand into place. We want to be able to switch from here to here and do it all with one hand, okay? And it takes some practice, it really does. But if you were just, you know, sitting in front of TV and you want to just jump back and forth, work on getting that down, fantastic. Okay, and the reason we need to be able to do that is because eventually we want to be able to play morning dance like this. So that's our ultimate goal with that song, is to be able to play it once pizzicato and then once arco, and that's without stopping. We get that little rest at the end, but other than that, it's basically just pushing straight through. That's something that you may not be able to play today, but if you practice that bow switch, you're eventually going to be able to do it. As far as rolling along is concerned, we're going to take it on the exact same way. It's a little bit longer, but we would start with pizzicato. Okay, and one difference we're going to have on this is instead of playing it pizzicato and then switching to arco, let's do it backwards. Let's play arco first and then switch to pizzicato. All right, so guys, that's all I'm going to leave you with for vacation. You should know that if you've been keeping up with these videos, you are exactly where you would be if we were in class right now. You would know all the same songs, all the same skills, which means that after vacation, we're going to dive into a couple new notes. There are 3 more pitches, 3 more notes we're going to learn how to play this year. We're going to hit those after vacation, and we're going to go from there. In the meantime, just make sure you feel good about all the stuff we did today. If you can play one song, you can probably play the others. It's really all just the same skill set. Putting down E, putting down F sharp, putting down G in the left hand while using the bow in the right. Okay, and as always, if something's confusing, if you're not sure what you're doing or you just need help, you can have whoever's at home reach out to me through an email and I'll help you as best as I can. All right, in the meantime, take it easy, guys.